Hello everyone, welcome back to ESL Trail. I know it's been almost a month since I posted a video on my channel. I'm very sorry about that. And I'll make sure that I'll be posting videos regularly from now. A few days ago, I posted a community tab in which I asked you to post a few questions so that I would be answering them. And some of you took time to ask those questions. I'm really thankful to those. Now let's discuss those questions and then let me answer them. The first question is from Mr. Chandu. Mr. Chandu says this one. Sir, I have a doubt. No, actually he questioned himself. The first question is, what is the point of expanding vocabulary when we know enough words, like basic words, to make a conversation? Well, it depends on what you are. I mean, what you do for a living. I mean, what your career is, what your job is. And you are right when you said you know basic grammar, basic words to make a conversation. Pretty straightforward answer. Now let's look at his second question. So what is the point of learning random new words or vocabulary in English? I mean, if I learn a super random word, like for example, sacrilege, I don't need that. And the problem with me is I don't know what I need to know. I mean, words, learning new words, which will be helpful for me in daily conversations, etc. Here is my answer. There is nothing wrong in learning a random new word if you can use it in an appropriate situation, but it's absolutely useless if the job you do or the people you deal with do not know the word. Let me give you an example. If you are a grocer and you use the word constellation, it makes no sense to the people around you. I hope you have understood. Now, here is another question from Chandu. How to increase my vocabulary in a way that it will be helpful in using it in my daily conversations or something essential. It can be words or grammar. Okay, my answer is it all depends on what makes you feel convenient. I personally make a note of the word and its meaning and try to use it in my classroom because I'm a teacher. You can check out my video on the topic here. And we already have enough vocabulary for our job. But if you want to increase the vocabulary, you need to watch videos on different topics. Most of us know vocabulary about technology. Even people who have never been to school or college talk about bezels, processors, screen on time, etc. It is because they have heard those words a lot. I hope you get my point. Here is another question from him. What is grammar clearly? I'm confused. Is it a structure of arrangement of words in proper order with having correct punctuation, tenses and parts of speech? Okay, if I say grammar is the set of rules that describe the structure of a language and control the way that sentences are formed, you might laugh at me. I believe that most people do not know how grammar works in their own language, but they speak without grammatical errors. Of course, colloquial language differs from academic and grammatically accurate language. At least they know the order of words in a sentence. I think grammar should be learned naturally. When it comes to taking a test in a language, you need to focus on the existing grammatical rules. I said existing because language keeps evolving. Now, let's move to the next question by Chandu. Can we improve English grammar with listening and speaking without reading and writing? I don't think so. Every element is important, but listening is easy, and so learners have to focus on it first. Most of the grammatical patterns can be figured out by our brain with listening. The second step is to reproduce what you listen to. It does not mean that reading and writing are not important. I know some of my students whose grammar improved a lot after they read many books. So here is Chandu's next question. How can a noob at English improve his grammar and vocabulary? It means how improving these two things will be beneficial for a person. Okay, let me answer this question. Well, if you have a good vocabulary, you sound authoritative and it's easy to convey ideas. If your grammar is good, your ideas can be conveyed appropriately and you sound very professional. You asked how a noob at English can improve his grammar and vocabulary. If someone who wants to learn grammar and vocabulary in a specific language, the quickest way is to live in a place where people speak that language. The best method, period. Okay, now let's move to the next question asked by Wazida Hina. This person asks, can you explain me the changes in sentences based on degrees of comparison, especially signal words like no other bird or very few states? Okay, Wazida Hina, I'll try to make a video on this one. Of course, there are many videos on this topic. You can watch them meanwhile, and if you want me to make a video, I'll be very happy to do that. You will see that video in the coming days. The next question is by VK. Sir, pick some important grammar and vocabulary which are important for class 10 public examinations this year. Okay, well, you know, instead of me deciding the topic, you can ask and then I'll try to make a video on that. And the next question is from Saujanya. She says, sir, can you explain about the errors part in English clearly for Telangana State student 10th class paper? Well, you know, it's not easy to make a video on that because you need to cover a lot of grammatical items like passive voice, reported speech, and articles, tenses. You know, all the grammatical rules that you learn should be applied while trying to attempt an exercise like this. Well, I'll try to make a few videos on that in future. Now let's look at next question. Sir, I am Suhas, a great follower of ESL drill, not explaining grammar for every unit, sir, why? So Suhas, thank you very much for being an ardent follower of ESL drill. So I think I have already answered your questions because you mentioned passive voice and some other thing, and then I posted the links to those videos. So thank you for asking this question. And next question is from Sirisha. Hello sir, my question is, how can we improve our students' English speaking skills? What are some of the ways we can implement in the classroom? Suggest your valuable tips and your experience, sir. Well, thank you for asking this question. I think you have not watched my latest video. I mean, that was 30 days ago. And in that video, I discussed all those tips that we can use as teachers in classrooms to make sure that students' speaking skills get better. Okay, so watch that video, your doubts will get cleared. Okay, these are the questions that we have. Thank you very much for asking these questions, and I'll see you in my next video.